Peer-to-peer means person to person, people to people, peer-to-peer. And it's based on the general idea that it is not possible because of the networks and the internet that people from all over the world can connect with each other, but also work together to create common value. And this is something we call peer production, commons-based peer production. And the P2P Foundation is a global collaboratory, research collaboratory, to monitor, observe, and try to understand peer production, peer governance, and peer property. But we also kind of engage, so it's not just objective science. We are observing, but also promoting at the same time. So it's more like a, action research kind of thing, right? Yeah.
So where does this interest come from?
Well, basically based on analysis of the current problems that we have in the world, and to summarize it in a very simplistic way would be that we combine pseudo-abundance in the material world with artificial scarcity in the immaterial world. So we think that nature is infinite, so we extract resources and we don't think about regeneration of nature. And then we create all these problems like biodiversity loss and global climate change. But then we have copyright patents that actually make it more difficult for people to share their knowledge. And this is a problem. And so peer-to-peer is a way of producing value where you create a community, you have community-based design, and therefore you don't design for the market, you don't design for scarcity, you design for sustainability as a kind of like normal thing to do because you do it as a community. And it's based on sharing knowledge. So there should be no scarcity in sharing knowledge because especially in the digital world, reproducing knowledge is really easy at marginal cost. Making something once has a cost, but then making it 2 million times is not more expensive than making it once.
Do you have any example that you can share with me?
Well, it's a classic example. It's an open source car called WikiSpeed. It was done by about 80 people in a dozen countries. And in, I think, 3 months' time, they designed a car from scratch that has a 5 times more fuel efficient motor than industrial cars. So again, it's sustainable from the get-go. It's based on participatory design, so people from the whole world can design parts of the car. Everything is crash tested, and it's based then on actually producing it in a distributed way as well. So the concept is that of micro factories that would be in the whole world. You download the design, you make the car using 3D printing machines that you specialize a little bit, and you have a virtual assembly line that allows you to manufacture on demand. So if you're a company or just a few people making a car based on such a design, and you can make it when they ask for it, you have no extra production. So there's no need for marketing, for wasting. It really changes the way you look at how to produce value.
Do you see any patterns of how the development will be, or has been and will be in the future?
Well, you always start with low-hanging fruit, and the low-hanging fruit was knowledge and software code. Because if you produce knowledge, it's immediately usable, and if you write software, it's immediately executable, right? So you're actually, by writing software, you're actually producing the thing. But making physical stuff is more demanding, right? Because you can have an open design, like a motherboard. Maybe this is a very popular thing called Arduino, but then you have to make it, and those materials cost money, right? So the big thing now is it's happening, but it's happening slowly and difficultly, is how do we move from just immaterial peer production to actually material peer production. And the vision is, in immaterial peer production, I can allocate my knowledge, my skills, my effort to a collective project without asking permission. What if we would do this with money, crowdfunding, social lending? What if we do this with machinery, 3D printing? And so, what about energy?